and girls, it is Miss Underwood. Well, hugs, and we're gonna start our day with a virtual hug, so get ready. Squeeze real tight. Oh, that felt good, didn't it? Okay, what we call community helpers, and they are essential to our community to make sure that our community is safe and taken care of. And in a time where we have like a shelter-in-place order like we've got going on right now, doctors are still required to go to work. And anybody that works in the healthcare field are required to go to work. So, Miss Underwood has some community helpers here that your parents might be or your grown-ups might be. And so that might be why they're still having to go to work. And I wanted to explain some of that to you. So we have what could be a doctor. She could be a nurse. She could be a CNA, which is a certified nurse's assistant. Or she could be someone who helps take care of elderly patients in their homes. So these people are community helpers, and even though we have a shelter-in-place order, these people are considered vital and they still have to go to work. So there, you see here, she's got her mask. Now she doesn't have her gloves on, but she does have her full protection gear. So these people are making sure that they stay safe although they're at work. So that is one community helper that's still going to be going to work although we have a shelter-in-place order, okay? Another community helper that's going to be going to work although we have a shelter-in-place order are firemen, okay? Any firemen are going to be going to work because if there's a fire, we would need to have someone to be able to go put that fire out. And these are very brave men and women because they go into a very dangerous situation to help others, okay? So, next person that we have are police officers. Police officers and law enforcement are considered essential during this time because they are helping make sure that everybody stays safe. So the police officers are community helpers and they're essential during this time. So anybody that you know that's a police officer would be required to go to work and not allowed to shelter in place during this time, okay? So then we have our postal workers, okay? And then I have a postal worker and then I have like a UPS worker. These people are considered essential because they're delivering necessary supplies to our hospitals. So what they would be delivering is like medical supplies. They might be delivering food to the local grocery stores. So they're considered essential, and so they would be required to go to work. They might not be the actual delivery person, but they might work in a warehouse that would have food packed, so they would have to go to work during this time too, okay? Now, this guy is considered, we're going to call him our banker guy. Bankers are considered essential employees because individuals need access to their bank. Now, most bankers during this time are taking a lot of precautions. They're going to be washing their hands. They're going to be wearing gloves because money can be very dirty. Okay, so bankers are considered essential employees and they're going to be going to work, but they're also big community helpers because bankers help you get access to your money. Construction workers are repairmen. Repairmen are very big community helpers because repairmen come in and help you if your air conditioner goes out or your heat goes out or there's something wrong with the electricity in your home, there's something wrong with the water in your home. They're considered essential employees. So plumbers, electricians, people that work on AC, so hardworking construction type people are considered essential workers. So those individuals are going to be going to work too. So these are big community helpers that we need to be making sure that we're sending good thoughts to. Okay, and then last but not least, and this is my guy, he looks like a chef, but he might not be a chef, it might be a fast food worker or a person that works in a restaurant. Now, right now, nobody can sit down in a restaurant, but restaurants are not completely shut down. So if you have a loved one that works in a restaurant, they may still be required to go into a restaurant depending on the restaurant's policy. And the reason for that is because restaurants are still allowed to serve food at this time. So this guy represents our community helpers that are serving food through drive-through windows or curbside service. Okay, so we've got our restaurant workers or our food service employees. We've got our repairmen or women who are working to keep essential services in our house, like water, garbage pickup, electricity, any of those type things that you can think of that might need repair. These are all community service people that would still be required to work, okay? And we've got our bankers. We need to keep positive thoughts for our bankers, okay? And then we've got our firemen who are community helpers. We've got our postal workers and our delivery people. Also behind those postal workers and delivery people are the people that are working in the warehouses, packing those boxes that those postal workers and delivery people are given. And then on top of the postal workers and delivery people are our truck drivers, because our truck drivers are actually getting those items to the store. Okay, and then you've got our police officers and law enforcement, anybody that works in the medical field, any way, shape, or form, people working in the medical field, nurses, doctors, CNA, people that sit with elderly, people that take care of anybody in any way, shape, or form in the medical field are considered community helpers and essential employees, and they are not allowed to miss work at this time. And then, last but not least, you've got anybody that's working in a grocery store, okay? Because grocery stores are still open, and pharmacists. So grocery stores and pharmacies. So anybody that works in a grocery store or a pharmacy are considered community helpers, and they are also required to go to work during this time. Okay, so we covered a lot of community helpers. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that today I'm sending out prayers and good thoughts to all those community workers that are out there, making sure our community stays safe and has the supplies that they need, and that if anybody gets sick, that they're taken care of. And I would hope that you would do the same. But one thing that you can do today, if you would like, is that you could draw a picture of your favorite community helper. And so we've talked about several. So Miss Underwood is going to recap for you on her whiteboard back here the names of some that we have talked about. And I want to see if you can write me a story about some of these community helpers and how great they are during a time like this. Okay, and then we also talked about postal service or delivery. We talked about fire, fighters. We talked about, what else did we talk about? Think about it. Bankers. Let's think, what else? We talked about repairmen. Women. What else did we talk about? That's right. We talked about food workers, food service. Grocery store workers. Grocery store workers. We've got grocery store workers. We've got our banker. We've got our repairman. We've got our fireman. We don't have our policemen. And then the last thing that's a community helper that we didn't talk about is our government leaders. That's like our governor, our mayor, okay? So we're going to put leaders up here. Okay, so we've got our doctor covered, and that also includes anybody in the medical field. So that could be a doctor, a CNA, a nurse. Could be a person that sits with the elderly. We have our postal and delivery people covered. Next, we have our firefighter. Next, we have our banker. Next, we have our repairman. And we have our food service workers. We have our grocery store workers. We have our policemen. And then we have our leaders. So Miss Underwood's going to bring the camera just a little bit closer so that you can see how all of those are spelled. Okay? And I'm going to leave it there for just a second so you can pick out which one you want to write about. And then I want you to draw me a picture. Write me a story about why you think those are your favorite community helper. And maybe if you want to be one of those community helpers that we consider essential, why you want to be one of those community helpers when you grow up today. And I hope maybe this helped you understand a little bit more about why some people go to work and some people are working from home. You know I love you from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. I'm giving you a virtual hug one more time today. And I will see you this evening. Do you hear that? That was a community helper going right by my house. See why that's so essential? And I'm glad we had that lesson. That was like perfect timing. Miss Underwood couldn't have planned that even more. Perfect. So, as I was saying, don't forget, I want your brains to grow. Read, read, read. Bye. Hi, it's Miss Underwood. If you haven't already, please make sure that you click that subscribe button right there so that you're notified when new videos are loaded. If you like the videos and you want to continue reading and learning with Miss Underwood. Thank you. Look